Hello everyone, good evening. You're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubrali, bringing you today's latest top stories of Canada.
The University of Toronto UFT says its administrative staff will need to be back on campus full-time as of next year. UFT President Melanie Wooden said in a statement Friday that being present with and for one another matters, and that the decision to end regular remote work was made after discussions with academic and administrative leaders. She said the decision will ensure there is a critical mass of administrative staff present on our campuses 5 days per week, Monday through Friday, to allow more spontaneous and multidisciplinary coalitions to take place. However, she noted UFT will still honor its institutional commitment to consider alternative work arrangements where called for. The university said campuses and divisions will make the change in January 2026 or sooner in some cases, but that it may take several months or more to realize in some cases. Wooden said she understands the change may be challenging for some staff and thanked them for their dedication and flexibility. However, in a statement, the union representing the workers said it is not taking Wooden's statement as binding and is working to get clarity on the move. A prominent Canadian Jewish organization is calling on leaders of levels to enhance security at synagogues after a vehicle and knife attack at a UK synagogue on Yom Kippur. The Center of the Israel and Jewish Affairs called on Prime Minister Mark Carney to ensure Jewish institutions are protected and that all who incite and commit violence against Canadians are held accountable. From Ottawa and Montreal to Manchester and Washington, anti-Israel and anti-Semitic radicalization is fueling violence against citizens of our countries, the organization said in a social media post. Thursday's attack in Manchester, which saw 2 people killed and 3 others hospitalized, is being described by local police as an act of terrorism. Police said the suspect was shot and killed by police about 7 minutes after he rammed his car into pedestrians outside the synagogue and then attacked them with a knife. They added he was wearing what appeared to be an explosive vest. Authorities later said he did not have a bomb. Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, is the holiest day on the Jewish calendar. Police say the alleged attacker, 35 years old British citizen Jihad al-Shami, was not previously known to authorities. Greater Manchester Police Chief Stephen Watson said one of the deceased victims and one of the injured were accidentally shot by police while worshippers tried to prevent the attacker from entering the synagogue. The attacker did not have a gun. Police said Andrian Dolby, 53, and Melvin Kravitz, 66, died in the attack on the Heaton Park Congregation Synagogue in the Manchester suburb of Crumpsall on Thursday. Statistics Canada has tracked a significant increase in the number of police-reported hate crimes against Jewish people in the past 2 years. Incidents have included firebombs of synagogues and gunshots fired on multiple occasions at a Toronto Jewish school. Police in Ottawa recently charged a man accused of what they called a hate-motivated stabbing of a Jewish woman at a grocery store. In England, Chief Rabbi Ephraim Mirvis, the head of the Orthodox Judaism in Britain, said the attack in Manchester was the result of an unrelenting wave of Jew hatred on the streets and online. Carney said in a media statement Thursday that hate must be confronted with all available tools and Canada will protect the right of Jewish communities to live free from intimidation. Hamas says it would agree to release all Israeli hostages, dead or alive, under U.S. President Donald Trump's proposal with conditions, Reuters is reporting. U.S. President Donald Trump said Friday that Hamas must agree to proposed peace deal by Sunday evening, threatening an even greater military onslaught nearly 2 years into the war sparked by October 7 attack into Israel. Trump appears keen to deliver on pledges to end the war and return dozens of hostages ahead of the second anniversary of the attack on Tuesday. His peace plan has been accepted by Israel and welcomed internationally, but key mediators, Egypt and Qatar, and at least one Hamas official have said some elements need further negotiation without elaborating. Under the plan, which Trump unveiled earlier this week alongside Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Hamas would immediately release the remaining 48 hostages, around 20 of them believed to be alive. It would also give up power and disarm. In return, Israel would halt its offensive and withdraw from much of the territory, release hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, and allow an influx of humanitarian aid and eventual reconstruction. Plans to relocate much of Gaza's population to other countries would be shelved. A Hamas official told the Associated Press this week that some elements of the plan are unacceptable and need to be amended without elaborating. Palestinians long for an end to the war, but many view this and previous U.S. proposals as strongly favoring Israel. Prime Minister Mark Carney is set to head to Washington early next week to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump, his second visit since becoming Prime Minister. Carney will leave for Washington on Monday evening and will meet with Trump on Tuesday in what the Prime Minister's office is describing as a working visit and meeting. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand, Industry Minister Melanie Joly, and Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc will accompany Carney. This latest visit comes as Canadian and U.S. officials try to reach a deal on punishing American tariffs and as a review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement gets underway. Carney has also been facing pressure from the opposition to land a win as Trump continues to inflict new tariffs impacting Canadian businesses. Earlier this week, Trump imposed a new 10% levy on softwood lumber imports and 25% tariffs on cabinets and furniture that's set to take effect on October 14. Trump first launched a trade war in February when he implemented sweeping tariffs on Canadian goods. He's since carved out an exemption for imports that are compliant with CUSMA with the free trade agreement between Canada, the U.S. and Mexico. But he's also set out to fully transform America's global trade regime, imposing significant sectoral tariffs on steel, aluminum, autos, and copper. Those levies are stacked on top of any import taxes aimed at specific countries such as Canada. Canada and the U.S. have been ongoing negotiations for a new economic and security deal for months. After campaigning during the federal election on a promise to stand up to Trump, Carney and his team have since insisted they are prioritizing getting the best deal over a timely one. The Prime Minister has also insisted Canada has the best trade deal because 85% of exports to the U.S. remain tariff-free. Most Canadian adults are now classified as obese or overweight, a significant rise in recent years compared to the time before the COVID-19 pandemic, New Statistics Canada suggests. The government agency's Canadian Health Measures survey found the following. More than two-thirds or 68% of Canadians aged 18 to 79 had a body mass index BMI that classified them as overweight or obese. StatCan said the finding was based on the period from 2022 to 2024. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, 60% of Canadians from the same age range were considered overweight or obese between 2016 and 2019. Obesity became more prevalent in recent years, especially among young adults aged 18 to 39 and compared to the time before the pandemic. StatCan's study discovered the following. The proportion of obese individuals rose to 33% from 2022 to 2024. It was previously 25% between 2016 and 2019. This is in the line with research suggesting that pandemic-related changes in lifestyle, including reduced physical activity and increased sedentary behavior, may have contributed to the higher obesity levels in adults, it goes on to say in its press release Thursday. The survey also found that abdominal obesity was widespread. The condition refers to excessive fat stored around the waist and stomach area, according to StatCan. About half, or 49% of adults, have a waist circumference above the Canadian thresholds tied to greater health risks, reads the statement. Being overweight or obese increases the risks of developing certain cancers, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, hypertension, and other serious health problems, according to StatCan. Durham Regional Police said they are looking for 3 suspects who allegedly stole $33,000 worth of designer sunglasses from an optometry store in Pickering. Police said they were called to a lens crafter's store at Pickering Town Center around 8:20 p.m. on September 29th after 3 females entered the store and allegedly stole more than 60 pairs of designer sunglasses before fleeing. Police released photos of the suspects along with descriptions. The first suspect is described as black female with long dark hair. She was wearing a white long sleeve shirt. Police described the second suspect as black female with medium-length curly black hair. She was wearing dark-colored glasses, a beige long-sleeve zip-up, beige tights, and black shoes. The third suspect is described as black female with short black hair. She was wearing a white shirt, black jacket, blue shorts, and black and pink shoes. Police are asking anyone with further information to reach out to investigators. Peel police are asking for the public's help identifying a suspect in connection with stabbing on Brampton Transit bus on Wednesday night. Police said 2 men who were unknown to each other had an altercation aboard the bus that was traveling near Bramley Road and Bowitt Drive. The suspect then began to attack the victim with an edged weapon. The victim was stabbed multiple times and seriously injured, police said in a news release on Friday. The victim, and a man in his 20s, sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Police said the suspect fled on foot. He is described as South Asian with a medium build, a stubble beard, tattoos on his right forearm, and glasses. He was last seen wearing a white long sleeve shirt, blue jeans, and a black hat with the Toronto Raptors logo. Police are asking anyone with the information to contact them at 905-453-3311 extension 2133 or Crime Stoppers anonymously at 1-800-222-TIPS 8477.
Thank you for watching Awaz News. This is Kubra Ali. I'll see you tomorrow again. Have a wonderful evening.